Good morning. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Bob Hoey, your host today. Tom Bomil sitting next to me. He's the host every other week. I talked to Ned Tarmey, sounding good. I hope we get him maybe today. Thursday night, there's a Mass for the Pope at 7 p.m. at the Immaculate Conception. Thursday night, 7 p.m., a Mass for the Pope, just to get that out there. And real sad time right now for all of us Catholics, that's for sure, and other people around the world. But I didn't know much about him other than he come from a real poor place, really poor.
He's from Argentina, I believe, right?
Yeah, South America somewhere,
Yeah.
But I always think, is this, you don't see too many different popes in your lifetime, right?
No, this is I added it up, and this is going to be my sixth. So
Six. It's quite well, you've been around a little bit, right, Tom?
Well, my first one was Pope John Paul. Pope John, the 23rd. There was Pope Paul VI. Then my favorite pope, the Polish Pope, Pope John Paul I. Then there's Pope Benedict, and then Pope Francis. So that's five. So I'll get a sixth.
They had
now.
John Paul II.
John Paul. Oh, that's right. That's right. He was only. That's right.
He was only around for a couple of weeks.
A couple, yeah. So that's right. This will be my seventh pope. Then that's right. So
because when you grow up as a Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Roman Catholic, I guess I should say. Sacred Heart is where most of my life was spent. Almost forced to go all the time because it was when I was real little. I remember just Latin,
Yeah. That's
So
how it was. Yeah.
And so I really didn't. It was like school to me. I didn't like going to school. I didn't like going to church. But my grandmother made me go every week and made my first communion, confirmation, and. Then I work in the prison system over the years, you guys know that, and we had all those problems with priests. So the Roman Catholics really got dumped on, and I always felt it was because Roman Catholics have money. Because abuse to children is in every nationality, every religion. It's not just Roman Catholics, but we had the money. And that's where the lawyers went after it, and thank God they did. I'm glad people get caught doing that type of stuff. But we are a great religion. I don't care what anybody says. We do a lot of good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear the Roman Catholics are on the rebound. That's some of the news I've heard in the past week.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Well,
I know where I got married. I always call it St. Mary's Church, 1975. That church was almost down to being empty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it gets packed.
Yeah.
On certain days.
Sure. Well, like I said, this past Sunday, I was down the shrine for the noontime mass, and of course it was packed because you had your once a years, the ones that only go once Christmas time and Easter. There's a lot of people that only go to church twice a year, but even with that, the shrine gets a pretty good crowd every week.
Oh, yeah.
With their and you talk about the abuse thing, and I talk about it all the time. I was an altar boy at St. Peter's School from the 4th grade right until I graduated. And I met a lot of priests, a lot of very nice priests. Never once, even a hint of abuse or anybody like trying anything weird with me. You know what I mean, Bob?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think sometimes some of these stories might have been fabricated.
The media made that much bigger because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, let me put it this way, okay? It's the number one issue in the country, abuse of children, period. Maybe number two is abuse of the elderly. The way you keep taking our money and our taxes and keep adding more taxes to me. I don't understand this as you get older. I really don't. The harder you work, the less you get. But maybe it keeps me alive. So that's the way I look at all things right now. Locally, I'm just crazy about local issues right now. I just spent... I think almost 4 days off my phone, not posting anything till last night. And it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Around family. I had the best thanks.
I have a friend of mine.
Easter meal ever from my sister-in-law. So thank you, Janet. It was tremendous.
Great.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine, every year, he says, he's the day before Ash Wednesday, he says, I'll see you day after Easter. He gives it up to the entire Facebook, all of Lent. He's a Roman Catholic. He's very strong in his faith, and he
He gives up Facebook for Lent?
Yep. Day before Ash Wednesday, he says, "I'll see you day after Easter." He doesn't go on Facebook for the entire. I mean, it's a little sacrifice, but still, I mean, when you
No, it's
Interesting.
yeah,
Listen, I never thought I'd feel that. What do they say? It's fiending, trying to quit cigarettes.
yeah,
You're fiending for a cigarette
fiend-
after
yeah,
2
it's another
days.
word. Yeah, I know,
I think that's the
yeah,
word,
yeah.
fiending. I always use it, that word. My father died. I quit smoking. I just dropped cigarettes. I
Yeah.
smoked over 2 packs a day. My father died 25 years ago. I said, boop, that's it with cigarettes. I had one hanging out of my mouth at 12 years old, painting houses. It's just learned behavior.
yeah.
Your
yeah.
grandfather does it, your father does it, your mother does it. Guess what? You're going to do it.
I was lucky.
You know?
Neither one of my parents smoked. I smoked
lucky.
cigarettes for a bit, but my father liked a good cigar, and then he turned. Now I smoke my pipe. That's my. But I don't smoke it a lot. I just. So.
Yeah, but I see a lot of positive things happen, but it's all local for me, Tom. Right now, I can't get it out of my mind.
Yeah.
We have a big election in District 3, 4 people that are running. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't say enough.
I
Thank
guess-
God you can come out and say, I'm running for citywide, like I am. Right now, I'm telling everybody I'm running citywide for the Lowell School Committee. And then when the papers come, I could change my mind and just go district. But right now, I mean, I've been around a little bit. My best chances will be citywide. And then the
You don't
race.
think you could beat Dave Conway? That's your guy, right?
Yeah, but Dave was a real, pro Cawley guy. Keep it out of Cawley. No, he was.
Dave's a nice
He was in
guy.
that group.
I
Yeah,
always
he'd be
liked him.
hard
But I
to
mean-
beat.
but
He'd be
I
hard to
said,
beat.
I don't
but
know. I don't know.
It's
you know?
not because I'm afraid of that, Tom.
Yeah.
I like the way you take it when I call you the swamp. You're in the new swamp, right, Tom? I've said that about you, buddy, plenty of times. Well, that's the old swamp.
Yeah.
Belvedere
Yeah.
controlled Lowell. And
Oh,
it still
for
has
years.
big power.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah.
They used to get everything, but it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
This has changed. Redistricting. I was thinking about that all day long today. I woke up at 1:30, 1:45, because my 18-year-old and his friends were out late in my yard.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll fix that when I get home. I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I love the idea that they want to hang around my house and around me so they're safe.
Yeah, but
Don't
you
they
got-
have a cell phone?
Yeah, listen, they're a different breed than you and I, but
No,
they're
Bobby, I'll
different.
tell you, in my day, those
Yeah.
kids start acting up, I'd call my son
No,
and
they-
say, I don't want to hear a peep.
John, they didn't act up. You could hear a pin drop.
Oh, that's good.
My point is this: just knowing they're out there, and I got trains.
Oh, my wife wouldn't sleep. She's looking out the freaking window.
That's
the
how
whole
I
time.
am. Same way.
Oh, Bobby.
Not that
Boys
they're
will be
bad.
boys.
But there's nothing more important right now. We just started off talking about religion and children and all that stuff. I mean, there's nothing more important in our schools. Period.
No.
Nothing. I don't care what town you live in, it's the most important issue. So whenever, I see this McFadden name come out, Danielle McFadden running citywide, I said, there's definitely a God anyways. I believe in God. I should go to church more, but I definitely believe in God. Because things happen for a reason. The Pope has passed, you know what I'm hoping for now? Something good. Something good.
Yeah.
And it usually happens.
Well, you'll get a younger pope with newer ideas, with
Yeah.
fresher ideas. I mean,
Yeah, he'll be 80.
Huh?
He'll be 80. The younger Pope will be
Well,
80.
I've read it's a guy that's around 70 that might be a candidate.
Now, no, he won't make it.
He won't?
75 is the youngest they're going to vote in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
I debate that all day about age of
Yeah.
a priest.
No, they don't want you.
All I know is the ones that I meet in the general area, the ones that are over 80, there's something special to me.
I guess the person
Really
I'm referring
good people.
to, maybe I'm wrong, he's 70. The person I'm referring to, I guess, was his first assistant or his second assistant or something. They talk about him being, and I forget the name,
Yeah,
I'll ask Google.
yeah, it'll take a couple of weeks, I think, before that even comes close to being done.
Oh, that's usually a long event.
Yeah.
And then they start the process and, it's,
Well, like I said, I was off the phone. My wife says, you'll never make it. You'll never make it. That's really trying to help me, right? Because I think it's good every now and then just lay it down, lay that phone down.
Yeah.
You know, a few times I picked it up. I'm not going to lie. I picked it up to go looking through it. It's just so hard to stop. And it's around all of I hope it's not around like it is around my family because we're all on phones.
Johnny, what do you call it? Digital addiction? What do you call it?
Digital addiction.
Addiction. These kids nowadays, I mean, my God. how
Adults too, buddy. Telling you,
Yeah.
adults.
many? Man.
This guy, Bob, or Tom,
No, he was another one. Go. Nope, not him. I'll know it when I see it. Nope, not him. It was. Oh, so these are the candidates, huh? They're thinking?
yeah, Google says, yeah.
Yeah.
ABC News put this out.
Who's this guy? Nope, that wasn't it. I gotta.
I think that's it.
Yeah, okay, maybe I.
I'm afraid they're going to have somebody naked pull up here, so I got to be careful when you're scrolling through this stuff.
Yeah.
But this guy's name is Mark Ouellette William E. Jake. He's Canadian Cardinal.
Oh, boy.
Sacre bleu, yes. Okay, Cassella flip. I don't know if I'm
Well, the
swearing.
guy that's in charge now temporarily is an American Cardinal, I guess. He was originally in I don't know, for Chicago years ago, yeah. He's in charge. They make him like the temporary Pope, you know.
This guy, he's Cardinal Robert Sarah, prefect of the Congregation of Divine Worship, blah, 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 arrives. Doesn't say where he's from. So, I don't know. He's up for the seat. Then we got this guy here, Hungarian Cardinal Peter. He looks popish, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He looks like a pope already, this guy does. And then we got this guy.
This guy's only 67 years old, John, so he's out, right?
No way, he ain't gonna, sorry, he can do too much change. Too much change.
How about
His name is Cardinal Louis Tagle. And moving right along here, this guy
What?
here, I think this guy's gonna get it. Vatican Secretary of the State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin Smiles. Welcome by the German, okay, I don't know where this, he's the Vatican, he's the guy, he works in the Vatican now, this guy.
Sure.
And that's all the candidates we got. Back over to you guys.
well, yesterday, did you see who won the Boston Marathon?
A Kenyan.
Two
Yeah.
Kenyans.
Surprise.
Oh, yeah, that's what I just brought it up that way because, you know, the woman was the fastest time ever. Fastest time ever. So
John was
pretty
saying
good
before
job.
the show that they're voting on the manager's contract tonight. Is that the pay raise, whatever? Is that true? Did you hear anything about
I didn't
that?
hear
John
anything.
said that.
Every city councilor's seat is in peril because I think that I'm confident the manager will be making more than the governor, more than the mayor of Boston,
Oh, you're probably right.
and greedy city council pushes the parking, gotta pay to park until 8 p.m. Real estate taxes are going up. This council just thinks, oh yeah, the
Not
people
everyone-
don't care.
Not everyone will vote for that.
The people don't care.
Who do
They
you think the
love
vote
us.
be?
They love us.
I think it'll be basically the same as when they talked about it, like, what was it,
7 to 4? Yeah. It was
stay like
Eric,
Might go to 7 to 3.
Noon. Who else? There was 3 others, yeah. Well, you know Eric
Yeah, and Robinson.
Robinson.
Once you say Eric's,
Vesna Noon.
once
I
you
don't
say Eric's name, in my view, what I watch, Robinson's number 2.
Yeah.
Next guy to open his mouth. And both of them make a lot of sense to me. They're both, Eric Gitcher to me is one of the best counselors I've seen in years. Corey Robinson's not too bad himself. And, you know, I supported Corey for a long time, and I used to say his dad's name all the time. You know, I used to mix it up. First names I'm terrible with. I dealt with last names for 20 years as a prison guard. I knew everybody by last name, not first names. But they're just incredible people. Father's the nicest guy you'd ever meet in your lifetime. But when I say citywide or at large, I cannot see anybody, this is an opinion show, I can't see anybody beating Eric Gitcher. That's how I feel, only because of the work that he has done, especially just for me alone at the Riley School. It's incredible what one man is doing.
He's everywhere.
So I can't see him
He
getting...
came out to Drake it. Now, come on. He has nothing to do with Drake. He came out to Drake to speak on an issue regarding kratom. That's bad stuff that they put in. It's like a drug. And he came out as a representative because Lowell passed it. Lowell banned it. And I thought that was something to see a city council from Lowell come out and Drake, which he has no gain out there, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you another little example, but it's a local example. Firemen. Right away, you hear firemen. What word comes up for me? Danny Rourke. For years.
Danny Rourke.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
Danny Rourke for years controlled the fireman vote, which is something you want. You want their vote because there's not that many people that vote in Lowell anyways. They all have a job in Lowell or connected to someone that has a job in Lowell, and that's why they vote. We need more people to vote. I don't think it's going to happen this time. But I just want to stick to redistricting a little bit more because one of our colleagues on this show, Del Rossi, might have been the biggest beatdown I ever seen in my life. You know, Hillary Clark losing.
Yeah.
Hillary lived in this district. How long do we talk about? We talk about it every week.
Right.
Hillary lived in this district. But when that redistricting came out, that's what helped Del Rossi. There's no doubt in my mind.
Absolutely, because of Corey Robinson.
Yeah, Corey was hot.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But Lee gets you too. I seen that support for her, Del Rossi.
Yeah.
You know, and you get people, because you don't, just trying to get in the top 6 when we had it the way I used to remember the elections. You had to get to and that's all I barely made it to the 6th spot. But it was always hard. You had to beat someone like George O'Hara, or you had to beat Bill Topia, or, George Cooler Harris, Kay Stocklosa. It was just a really Timmy
Bobby,
Golden.
how do you campaign? I was talking to
What you
Tommy
do-
early this morning. How do you campaign in 2025? Like he was talking,
Yeah.
we're talking Drake and politics before the show started, just chit-chatting.
Oh,
How do you campaign in 2025?
go out and meet as many people as you can that
Where?
vote, meaning go up to Long Meadow, go to Mount Pleasant. That's what people do. I never did it that way. I try to avoid people. Do the job. Talk about the issues that you care about. When it comes to school committee, if anybody thinks that's a real easy seat to win, go give it a shot. Give it a shot. We need yous. Danielle
right, Bob.
McFadden, listen, Danielle McFadden, I'll never forget you. And I hope you top the ticket like Timmy Golden did all the time. I hope you top the ticket.
This might be so premature, but I think Danielle can go to the beach for the summer, and she's still going to top the
Yeah,
ticket.
well,
She's so well liked.
buddy, let me tell you, you never know.
I mean, she's just, I've known her for a long time.
Very
Yeah.
intelligent
Absolute
woman.
sweetheart.
Yeah, I believe
Absolute.
I don't even know her.
Came up, we're way up in the Chamber of Commerce. I just think she's gonna be dynamic, and she's gonna be a smart. I don't think she's gonna be one of these. I don't think she's in a swamp. Do you, Bob? I don't think she's not a swamp person.
I know my sister likes her too. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know the girl at all other than what you already hear.
Yeah.
And she has 3 kids up at the Pawtucket Memorial, and she put her name in. That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
She's going to run
Yeah.
citywide
Yep.
because we need change at the top. We definitely need change at the top. You're going to see change at the city council. Citywide
really do,
race.
huh?
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt,
Taxes going up,
you're going to see change.
So who's in trouble?
they're all in trouble.
Well, no.
Well, I mean, if you
Taxes
I
going
just,
up, not
I
a
just
good
got done
idea.
saying, I don't think anybody will beat Eric Gitcher to top the
Okay,
ticket, right?
he's
That's the
safe.
way I'm going to
You think
say
the
it.
mayor's safe?
I'm not saying he's safe.
I
There's
think
a-
he's safe. I'm
Well,
more like going on. Let me say.
Well, I'm a guy that's on the limb, and I'm saying, watch out.
Yeah.
Work hard, because I'm going to work hard to have the kid.
Oh, and you know he's going to work
Have the
hard.
guy elected.
He's going to work hard.
Oh, he'll outwork anybody.
Is the mayor safe?
But, the mayor, Danny? Of
Yeah.
course he's safe. It's really Danny and Eric's world. How's that?
Danny's got no competition right now.
That's the way, even if he did, he's done more for me in the schools than anybody.
He's been a great mayor.
Well, his motion to just hire Liam Skinner was what won
Yeah.
me over. Thank God.
And then when he tried to it didn't pass, when he tried to bring neighborhood schools back, that didn't work out for him, but,
Another great
Well,
issue.
Look at
Yeah.
guys, Lowell stuff comes in at 7, so
Yeah.
we can start talking. Drake it politics. You guys got, when's your election, Tom, in Drake it?
May, a week from, I think it's May 5th, let me look at my calendar, a week from Saturday, a week from this coming Saturday.
And there's no, other than the trash fee, that's the only thing on the agenda. That's the only thing on the,
That's on the
only
ballot.
cloud in the horizon.
Yeah, it's only, yeah.
Drake, it's an easy town to predict who's going to win.
May 3rd, it'll be May 3rd.
They,
I think
Compare the
I think I'm going to win
So
a landslide.
Plummer wants, there's 2 seats open, 3 candidates.
First of all, in all fairness, Plummer, I like the guy, great guy. He jumped on an issue, but if he was a sitting selectman, he would have voted for the trash fee. The trash fee was voted 5-0. Josh Taylor made the motion. It sailed through, and again, Don's doing the right thing. He picked an issue, but he would have voted for the trash
Well, I'll
fee.
be interested to hear because Josh, I see Josh now and then
Yeah.
at Monday Night Dinner Club. And I'm going to be interested to hear
by the way, he's doing
his
better.
logic. Huh?
He's doing better, just to.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I see he's selling stuff on Facebook. He's
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
bulldozers. So
Yeah.
I don't even pay. Well, I don't know.
I hope that I'm looking forward to Josh's explanation of why he voted for the trash fee, because I think it's wrong that I can't deduct it on my taxes. That's my problem with it. Lowell did the same thing. Lowell, city council's just greedy, just terrible. But we'll get into Lowell later on.
Yeah, well,
Wait,
I
wait,
think
so
we all
Chuck,
have
can
the
I-
same issues. Every town has the same issues. It's going to be money. What are you going to be cutting? That's all I'm thinking right now. That's what's going to happen.
John, there's going to be a trash fee, so I will be getting a bill quarterly for my trash. You're saying that's not right? You say we should pay it with our taxes?
Yes.
So you can't, when you pay your trash fee in Lowell, you can't deduct it from your taxes? See, I don't know any of that about this. Is that what you're saying?
My companies can.
Your companies
My
can't?
companies can. Should they pay it? But they don't pick up business trash.
Right.
So, but as a landlord, I write off paying for the properties that I own for their trash to be picked up because I can write that off. But so far as the funeral homes are concerned, I can't write off any of their trash because the city doesn't pick that up.
And it was funny, I think it was 2 weeks ago we were talking about this issue, and I made a couple of remarks and then Tony called me, gave me what he called a civics lesson 101 about the process of getting the trash fee and how it really, okay, let's just say they bring it to town meeting, it was going to get defeated. They put it as part of the, and I might be wrong here, but I think that's what, if they put it part of the budget, it's voted in as one item. But yet still, somebody can get up there at town meeting and amend the budget. Somebody can get up there and say,
Well, I
we're
don't,
going to do away with the health director. And if the people vote that way, there's no more health director, you know?
I don't understand it. I respect what you're going to say, Tom. I don't know what's going on with that, but my whole beef with the trash fee in Drake is it should be on your real estate taxes. So then you can deduct it. A fee, you can't deduct it. So I think that's where your town fathers went wrong.
Okay.
And you're not changing my mind.
Oh, no, I'm not trying to. But like I say, Josh who does his homework, like Eric Itchia does, will
Well, I'll be
explain it to
interested
you.
to talk
Yeah,
to Josh.
Yeah. I hope I get him here next week, you know?
Oh, he's coming next week?
I'm going to try to get him next week. Yeah.
Thank you. MBTA is on the ballot in Drake. What does that mean, Tom?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't know there was a question, I didn't.
Probably they have to build their Heinz's. Heinz is Catholic. We do in Lowell. Might be the same issue, right?
I didn't know there was any ballot questions. I could be wrong. I'll
No,
try
it's
to
on the
find.
ballot. MBTA is on the ballot. I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
so
I'll try to find out
maybe
today.
we'll get some more text on it.
If Tony, if you're watching, or if you know anything about this, you could call in. I don't know, because I know Tony usually watches. So,
Yeah, so elections are the,
Well, I'd like Tony to explain why didn't you just put it on the tax roll? I can deduct it. Just
Tony, call in.
Doesn't make sense.
But as far as Drake election, I think both incumbents will win re-election. I think the two girls on the school committee will win. I think it's going to be an incumbent's day, and I know I will win handily. You know,
What are you running for?
Housing Authority. I'm unopposed.
Hey, what's your, tonight, Lowell City Council, and we'll talk more about Lowell at 7, but they're gonna talk about the buses aren't using the bus lane on the way overpaid for Lord Overpass project.
Yeah.
Why, can you speak to, because you're on the bus board.
Yeah, and I've asked that question numerous times, and to be honest with you, it seems I don't get an answer. I will have an answer for you next week. There was something about that. They're talking about that tonight, you said, at the council meeting? Yeah.
Yeah, because we use it for funerals, because it's great, nobody
And,
cuts you off.
emergency vehicles use it, I think, too.
Emergency vehicles, I didn't ask, I'll just beg for forgiveness, but the logic is when you're going with a funeral procession, people cut into it,
Yeah.
because the traffic flowing by, they're gonna jump into that. So it's just safer for me to grab for us to grab the bus route. Nobody's gonna jump in.
Exactly.
Works good. People can't jump in.
Yep. And
I can't speak for the other undertakers, but I know what we're doing it.
the other thing that was really sad to hear is someone else, we lost a little boy maybe in the river.
Yep.
I heard that in the news.
I was saying to John this morning's paper, I know you don't read it, but this morning's headlines was all about Trump, not even a mention about this little boy that died. It's just amazing.
Well, you can't, what I'm trying to do, I think John basically told us that we're going to hurt people if we keep rubbing it in their nose. Trump won, so I don't wear a Trump hat anymore. I wear a get your hat now. I won. We'll see what Trump does, and at the end of his term, if he does a good job, let me tell you, he'll be hard. Republicans will be hard to beat.
Well,
I'm unenrolled, and I think unenrolled called that race. That's what I keep thinking.
I was watching Fox
Without
last
a
night. There was somebody on there, and I don't know if it was a congressman. His fate might even be decided next year with the midterms. If he's doing real good, you see a lot of Democrats losing or Republicans winning. That'll be a sign that he's doing good.
Yeah, in Lowell, Tom, you're in trouble.
Oh, we're never going to get rid of her.
In Lowell, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
The race is going to come down to some of that.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
People are going to want to know who did he support. Well, just go on my Facebook, you'll see who I supported.
Yeah.
I want to change.
Yeah.
So you want to get mad at me? Go ahead. Could care less. I'm serious.
I got 2 comments from the audience. First one, no ballot question. Town voted at the meeting to not adhere to the MBTA zoning, and the selectmen want to put it back to town meeting for a second time, and it's illegal to do so. People in town are upset because they voted no, and town selectmen seem to keep wanting to put it on the ballot until it passes. Well, that's how Tewksbury got their firehouse. They just keep putting it on there until they get the answer they want. Then it never goes back up again.
I don't know.
Page 2.
Go ahead.
Page 2. Well, the person's just as smart as you are. I know who the person is. Both these people are just as smart as I am, if not smarter. And the second one says it's simple why Drake took it out of the tax base, Proposition 2.5. If it is in there, you can't tax as much because the trash counts against the levy of the taxes. Very good point, but nonetheless, too bad. It's a municipal, it's like charging me for the fire department.
I disagree with the statement that it's illegal to bring something back to town meeting, because I think the whole purpose of town meeting is to be able to, you could bring something up every year if you wanted to.
Yeah, but
anybody that talks about town meeting.
They already said no, and you should, in the town meeting, says, okay, you can't bring it back for 3 years. Done. I mean, that's how Tewksbury got a firehouse. They just kept putting it back on the town meters. This will pass eventually, and that's what once it loses a town meeting, it can't go back. And the same thing, winning a town meeting.
And
the MBTA thing.
And I hope I can get Josh back on here next week, because he's the guy who actually thinks that bringing it back to town meeting, and he had his reasons. But I'll text him today and see what he says.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's how I feel about Lowell right now is if you're running at large on either city council or the schools, especially the city council, you better work. You better work. Don't sit there thinking you don't have any competition.
Yeah, but how do you work? In 2025, like I was talking to Tommy, he doesn't like people banging on his door. I don't want people banging on my door.
Well,
and I'll blame you.
Then you just go out and try to get as many active people as you can. Like, for instance, young Ju Chow, I would say. Whose corner will she be in this time? Last time she was on the show, John, by the time young Joe and myself reached your kitchen, we weren't liking each other too much. And I'm a big fan of hers, and I'll always be a big fan of hers. But politically,
Oh, two
we're
sides
on
of- yeah.
different sides
Same
of the
here,
planet.
same here.
You know, and it's going to take some effect to the local elections. Like, and this is why I'm saying this to the at-large people. Not many people are going to want to come out and say, "Oh yeah, I was a Trumper." Not many. They're going to clam up. But it's almost impossible to clam up when you're on Facebook. They can just go back and look at what you've posted in your past. But again, you make friends in the Cambodian world. I have a lot of Cambodian friends. Because once they learn how not to fight amongst each other and vote for each other, they'll have about 6 or 7 city councilors in there someday. It's changing. Whoever doesn't believe that, just watch Belvedere
Oh,
this
it
year.
is changing. It
Watch
is changing.
Belvedere this year.
Coffee, how's the coffee?
Your coffee's always good. Number
I
one,
think
it
it's lousy today.
I brought my own. I usually have a second cup later.
doesn't
So
bother me. I like Army coffee, John.
Okay.
That's good. It's free. It's the best type of coffee you
Well,
can
this is
drink.
free too, but,
you make it every week the same way, don't you?
yeah.
Maybe it's the low water. No.
Oh, the next thing, they want more money for water.
So I just want to end that conversation, if you don't mind,
Sure,
about
buddy.
our election. Citywide, at large, whatever you want to call it, for city council, from Rita Mercia and Vesna Noon, they have to work. They have to work.
Speaking
Because
of which, Bobby, where were you at Rita's party?
I wasn't there.
I know you weren't.
Bobby and I
Yeah, I
were in
wasn't there.
church.
No,
was for
I
Good
wasn't in
Friday.
church. I spent the whole weekend with my in-laws. I tried to stay right in my house, actually, because my wife is busy.
Did she have a crowd?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had the best ham. Oh,
I got there wicked late. I had my favorite sister-in-law. She's in rehab up in Salem.
All right.
And so I was up there visiting her. And then I get back home, and Ellen said, "You better go to Rita's party."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay." So I get dead late for the party. So I missed a lot of what.
No food? You probably missed the food.
Oh, they had tons of food, too.
Oh, you still had food left?
Yeah, tons of food, too.
So I didn't put an end to my story,
So,
okay?
go on, then I'll
Please,
make a
Go ahead.
before I forget. The reason why I say Rita Mercia and Vesna Noon is because I don't believe those two can top Eric Itchy. This is an opinion show. We always like to give our opinions. We picked the citywide race last time, Tom. We
Yep,
came close, but Corey came in fourth. This new kid, Sixto,
6-2 to Jesus.
yeah, there you go. They've been prepping him for years, and when I say they, it's basically the
Democratic?
Democratic City side, yeah. So he's going to be a contender, and don't fool yourself. If you ever met him, you like him. Nice kid. I've met him many, many times. He works for Enterprise Bank, I think.
Never met him, but I heard what you just said. Great, nice guy.
A nice guy.
Down-to-earth guy.
And people want change, so be careful and work. Don't just sit on your thumbs thinking you got the seat. And I know how hard I'm going to work for Eric Itcher because I think he deserves our vote. He deserves one of your 3 votes. You get 3 votes. I don't think they're going to get Rita out, but Rita could fall to 3rd. It's not impossible. That could happen. And just all I can say is if you're a Rita fan, an Eric fan, or a Vesna Noon fan, get out there and help them. Try to get as many votes as you can, or your family anyways, and try to get a click, your own click going, because there's a lot of clicks going in Lowell, Tom. That's
Yeah,
all
I
I'm
know, I
saying.
know.
Back in the bus
John-
up.
Yeah.
Back in the bus up. Go ahead, Tom. I'll get wait my
Well,
question.
John was saying earlier about how he thinks all councilors are probably in trouble, right? You think, more or less?
Over the tax increases, yeah.
But I mean, and also tonight's vote on the managers.
Yeah, we're going to pay this guy more than the governor. Yep.
And that's the only thing that scares me about Rita, who I think I don't think she can lose, but this could be the issue that could do her in. If enough people say, look what you're paying this guy, the contract extension, and did somebody say he could be making at the end of this contract when the highest level?
300 grand.
350? Oh, I thought
1,000
350.
bucks a day.
350, that's what I heard,
$1,000 a day.
But I just hope, and I think people are going to say enough is enough,
Well,
And,
I'll say, I don't like to say it plain and simple. Vesna, in my eyes, is the one that is going to have to work real hard. I don't think he can hold on. Last election, he almost came in 4th then.
Because of one issue.
Yeah.
But,
But-
what's the issue this year
But
with
the-
him?
What's the issue?
No, you said a lot-
I just think
the AD
why
was-
he'll lose support
Oh.
is because of this new person,
Oh, okay.
you know? My prediction, without a doubt, will be the Young Jew Child Group, and it's a pretty powerful group. They get involved, and I love everything about them. I really do. Coalition of Better Acres, something great for the city of Lowell and Haverhill and Lawrence and everywhere when it comes to, affordable housing for veterans and all kinds of things. They've done more for housing houses than the Lowell Housing Authority. That's the place that needs to be cleaned up. But that's another story. Bishop Markham is always on my mind.
What's the matter?
It's just the way they fill it. Quit filling it the way you have filled it. It's over.
Well, Bobby, nothing's policed. I mean, when I talked to, back in the good old days, and you could actually chit-chat with people, the housing project is what I call it, okay? You can have visitors. And bouncing off the story that you have, talk about Massachusetts regulations. One of these guys was holding a sign up, help me out, standing at an intersection collecting money. That guy is a trustee of the home his house is owned by a trust. Section 8 housing, his girlfriend gets with her kids. His girlfriend's mother lives upstairs. She gets Section 8. So he's got 2 Section 8 vouchers coming into him, to the trust, that pay his mortgage. And he's out there in the corner going like, help me out. And this is all legal in Massachusetts. There's nothing they can do to this guy. He's not breaking any laws.
Listen, John, my life was basically started in a housing project, Shaughnessy. And I can say that over time, they did some good things to help our family
They certainly did, but-
to get out of there. But the problem I have with Bishop Markham is over the years, see, I'm a person that thinks only 2 type of people should be in a housing. One should be elderly and the other should be handicapped people. That's it. There's people in there that say to me, why don't you get rid of your house, do this, do this, do this, and move in here. I'm only paying $1.38 a month for my rent. I mean, I've had comments said to me driving a taxi, drove me crazy over the years. But Bishop Markham at one time was a good housing. It really was. It was like Shaughnessy, and it was
Yeah.
no different than the North Common housing projects.
I agree.
But that one there is a lot of connections to the illegal drug system and the pills and prescriptions because they can get them in Oxycontins, and when they see what they can make for it, they sell it out of those buildings, and it's been a problem for years. But we haven't fixed it yet. But
this one, Bobby.
we're
Well,
getting there.
signs
In
ain't
the
even out yet.
Belvedere area, I haven't seen any Belanger sign. That spells doom for the council. No, it doesn't.
A
It
sign's
doesn't.
out already?
Yeah, and remember one
Wow.
thing, please remember one thing, signs don't vote. Signs don't vote. They help, but they don't vote.
And that's what I was going to talk about when Drake, you said about how the election, Drake, and what people are doing to win. I think that what you see a lot of signs up for Tony, a lot of signs up for Jennifer Kapinski, I think that's I'm saying it wrong. Plummer's got some signs up, and they're doing a lot of street corner stuff. But it's knocking on doors in Drake, it's tough because there's not a lot of sidewalks. And so I think, and dear friend cards. I mean, dear friend cards are a big thing. Any mail-ins, as soon as I see a mail, it goes in the
Now,
trash.
Tommy, wait, hold the horses right there. Hold the horses right there. You get a dear friend card from somebody you have no idea who they are, and they say, Dear Tom, and they sign it Paul or Paula, whatever you want me to sign it for. Vote for my friend. Is that going to change your mind?
No, I'm saying, but if I get a friend from dear friend from card from John McDonough, and I was on the fence about a candidate, I could change my mind.
Interesting.
Somebody I know.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think the people who vote
'Cause-
nowadays, see, I
wrote out-
like in voting to golf, and the people who golf, they know who Arnold Palmer is, they know who Tiger Woods is, they know all the stuff, they know how big a golf ball is, they know who makes the good golf balls, they know all about the voters, people who vote. If you're running for office, go to every political party that there is. If Rita Mercy is having a party, go to her party. Even if I don't like Rita, I don't care. The people at her party vote. And I don't care you go to Corey Belanger's party, the people who go to that party, they go to Eric Gitchie's party. The people who are at that party, they're all voters. Oh, I don't like him. Well, too bad. You want votes? Get up to their party. That's how I think you're going to get voters to vote for you.
I wrote 100 Dear Friend cards out for Tony this weekend, and I have a list.
I didn't get one. I didn't get one.
And I know that I went to a certain name and said, I'm not wasting my time sending this person a card because they're not going to vote for Tony no matter what. I know it. I know, because there's about maybe 10 people on that list that dislike Tony. But I made my 100, and and these are people I know. These people I've known for years that might be on the fence, and but
The people that are watching us on Facebook or anything like that, that's a young crowd. Once City Life comes on, it's all people younger than you and I, Tom. About 60 years old and up. 80-year-olders, 90-year-olders, and those are the people that vote. So this is a good platform for someone to come on.
Yeah.
Call, you come on, you get yourself an hour or 2 hours if you want. I think.
But right now, there are no candidates because you can't pull papers yet. I
Yeah.
have seen
I
some
can't-
signage
Yeah.
for different people on Andover Street who are running for city council. I think there's one school committee person sign out there. But it's too early. I mean,
Listen,
those signs have got to last
now see,
until, when's the election, September?
Yeah.
But we in Drake, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but you cannot put a sign up until 60 days before the election.
That's against the law.
Not 60, 30 days against the
That's-
law.
That got
sorry, there's
challenged.
a-
John, you say that, but it's a bylaw. It's passed by the town. Nobody's challenged it, so I don't know
free speech.
where you're coming from.
Free speech.
Yeah, they stopped that. You could
Federal
put 'em
law,
up, yeah,
free speech.
It's
Yeah,
a bylaw, John.
yeah, yeah.
I understand the bylaw, Tom, but I'm just telling you, it's a federal law, and it can't be enforced.
All right.
That's my take on signage.
Yeah, so I believe you're right, though, when you say property taxes are going to, mine go up again, I want to vote everybody out. It's just what people feel right now.
But it's
You
not
know?
going to happen, Bobby. You say
It's gonna
that,
go up.
yeah.
No, they're
no,
gonna-
but they're not going to be voted out. It's because, like you say,
Not enough people vote, right?
yeah,
But
exactly.
you need new candidates to come out, and we have them.
Yeah.
In Lowell, it's happening, believe me. Just in Belvedere alone,
Well, you have
they'll
in the
pick the
district, so, yeah.
at-large race will come out of Belvedere.
I have a
We don't even need the rest of the city.
I have a question for you. If you
Yeah.
run, you say you're running for right now citywide.
Yeah.
Can you run for both?
I don't know, and I don't think so, though. You
John,
got
do
to
you know
pick
that
one or
answer?
the other. You got to pick one or the
Can
other.
you run district and then say, okay, if I
I don't know,
Right.
and the new election guy, I don't think he knows either. Greg Pappas is under the weather, so I keep.
My guess would be when you go
I would
down,
say
you
no.
have to pick.
One or the other.
You have to pick
Yeah.
one or the other,
Yeah.
and I just want to do it citywide because, Tom, I've been elected to that seat 4 times.
citywide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't really care if I win or lose. I just care to have a bully pulpit. It's like this place. Twice a week, I try to make it. I don't make it all the time because it's that important to me. Doesn't cost me anything. Coffee doesn't cost me anything. Sweets, now and then I'll pitch in for a donut, but
And he tells me we're not getting
And-
sweets.
By
He
the
told
way,
Karen,
by
he
the
told
way, I
Karen
told-
not to bring sweets today. I'm not a diabetic.
well,
I'm
listen,
done.
let me end with John McDonough. John showed me, who's on the show, and I'm the host, and I looked, and my sister was supposed to be here today, Tom, too.
Actually-
But then he said to me, he goes like this, he said, it's your call, because you're the host. So a few minutes, I thought about it, called my sister up, I said, listen, how about May 13th? She said, fine. I says, I didn't realize we had so many people, and I want you to have a half hour by yourself. And that's one in the bank. We'll have my sister
Actually,
Charmaine.
I was supposed to call my wife at 6:30 to tell her if I'm not going to call her now, she can sleep because she wanted to watch. She knows Charmaine well.
Yeah, and why I think my sister's so important right now, I just went through another hospital episode with my wife over dizziness and your ears are ringing.
Yep,
And
I've
there's
heard
a
about
lot
that,
to
yeah.
do with hearing aids for a lot of people. It's a very important thing. I can still hear, thank God, but
What?
it's a big issue. What? Yeah, what? No, but
I'm going to have that, that's going to be my epitaph.
you'd be surprised
My
how
gravestone.
many,
What?
how many people have ringing in their ear and dizziness. And that's when neurologists and all these people work on you.
No,
But,
that miracle, and my wife goes to Charmaine. It's amazing what she did for her and how her hearing's improved. Well, thanks to a hearing aid, obviously. She's had bad hearing for a long time, so.
I know guys our age, Tom. When I say our age, I'm 70. You're basically the same age, right? 69?
I'll be 70 in July. Yeah.
So most of the friends that I have, some of them go get hearing aids and they can hear. They just want to see my sister. That's the truth. I'm not lying, Tom. Some of them are there just because of how good she looks, you know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I had 7 total sisters. Two have passed away, and boy, that hurts every time that happens to you. When you lose a sister.
Yeah, I can imagine. I lost my brother, 10 years ago almost.
Any loss is painful, you know, but when they're younger than you and you're always trying to protect them one way or another, and then they go, it's a tough
And
thing.
your sister Melissa, too, right? I know her. She used to work at Town Hall, right?
Yeah, if I count Melissa, that would be 8.
Oh, you didn't even count her in the...
I don't because she's from Lemieux, the French side over there, and I don't think there's any blood connection at all.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like Charmaine and I have the same mothers. Not that it matters, you know, stepsisters, whatever you want to call them. You know, a couple that have passed away on me as stepsisters, and I loved them as much as anybody. So
Yep.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I always like to say the reason why they look so good is because
of you.
me.
Yeah.
But, sisters, listen, Tom, there was 7 girls, 6 boys. And you remember the old days when the Cosmo was open and Charlie's Corner and all those places, and Laurie's Lounge, and we call it the Gorham Tap, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
All it was like gunslingers went around Lowell, Colonial Cafe.
And that was Abbey Road for a while, right?
Oh, yeah. And all they wanted to do was fight. There was so much fighting going on back in like 1978, 79, 80.
Well, I went into the safe bars. Highlight Cafe, there was never hardly any fights down there. You go in there, it was pretty... Everybody knew your name. They were friendly. Jimmy Pendergast owned it down here on South Street. Did you ever go to the Highlight? Yeah.
I never went to the Highlight.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Colonial Cafe.
Yep.
And my father's bar, the Gorham Tap. There was nothing
Finnegan's,
but the tap.
right? Up on Lawn.
Finnegan's was a good place.
Yeah.
Not a lot of fights.
No.
If you went into the Gorham Tap on a weekend, it was like gunslingers. It was the most violence I ever seen. 7 years. It was... And they're all gone now. Most of them are gone, which is a good thing, you know, because you can still drink. But to have those neighborhood bars like that, I'm glad those things changed. I felt so guilty, Tom, working at those places over the years, and all you're doing is free pouring the alcohol. You know, you're filling their glasses up with it, you know. So all the rules that come out, I think, have been great. The phones are worse than drunk drivers now. The phones are the worst thing in the world.
You see people texting when they're still driving. Oh, man, it's
That's all on Lori Trahan. Those phones shouldn't work if they're going over 5 miles an hour.
that'd be a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
But no, Lori said, no, what about the kids? Let them look out the window.
Yeah. Like we did.
That's exactly right. It's all on Lori Trahan. They don't want to do it.
So
But nobody's going to take her on. Nobody's going to run against her. I mean, I hate.
No, but
I
you
hate
just
this.
got to put the blame on her. Every time somebody gets run over by a texter, thank you, Lori.
We had that candidate in Drake. What was Plummer? What's his name? Did you say Plummer?
Don
Don
Plummer.
Plummer.
Yeah, he came on this show before.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just my opinion, but I think Achinsky will be a winner.
Oh.
And the other person could get beat by Plummer. Could be, because I'm telling
Jennifer
you.
Kopinski is her name?
Yeah. I don't think it's
Well,
going to happen.
no,
You
maybe
might be
it
right.
won't. Maybe it won't. But I'm just saying, it seems to be change in the air for a lot of people. You got to be careful. There's going to be change in the Lowell school committee race. No doubt about it.
Well, you know,
One of those two are
yeah.
coming down.
Yeah.
And we couldn't even get people to run against them. And if that went on any longer, Danielle McFadden, thank you. If that went on any longer, that no one was running against Connie or Jackie, okay, they would have started thinking about appointing somebody.
Wasn't Jackie Doherty supposed to make an announcement before
Never
the first
heard.
year? Never heard.
I never heard nothing
It's all
about
BS,
that.
Yeah.
Well, I was Danielle McFadden again straightened me out at the Irish party that Bobby Cox had. I went to introduce myself and to congratulate her and wished her luck. And she said, because she watches this show, she said to me, Bob, you're wrong about Jackie telling me that she wasn't running. See, because if you remember, I used to say, they definitely told her. They told Danielle knew that someone wasn't running. But she straightened me out and said, no, that's not true. So I had to, apologize to her for saying that. But I felt for sure that, because it's an ego thing when you top the ticket every year and you're number one.
Yeah.
It's okay to do it once or twice, and, but watch out. Don't always think just because you topped it 4 or 5 times. Back in the day when I first ran for school committee, it was always Timmy Golden. I had so much fun with him. Regina, that's back on this show, Regina Faticante, when I had a problem with like Robert's Rules of Business, Tom, you know how that is. That's as hard as reading the Bible to me. It really is. I had a hard time. I'd go to Regina for my help there, And when I needed a second, I always had Timmy Golden. That was my guaranteed. I'm getting a second. And I'd guarantee anybody a second. Anybody.
You don't have to vote for that's right. I always say seconded for discussion purposes, and if somebody still votes against it, it happens.
Yeah, I remember once Eric Gitchard couldn't get a second. A while back, at first, couldn't get a second in the budget hearing too.
Last term, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't get one. So, and that's an embarrassing thing when you can't get one. But he takes it on the chin. That's for sure. So. But Drake, what else is happening in Drake?
That's about it. You got the election, which is, like I say, a week from Saturday, May 3rd. Polls open at 7 o'clock. And there's a selectmen's race, a school committee race. Everybody else, I believe, is unopposed. There's going to be a new moderator. I forget the gentleman's name because the George Miliaris was the current moderator, did not run for re-election. But the moderator's race is unopposed. So, I think, and I could be wrong, it could be eating crow, but I think incumbents will prevail that day. That's just my opinion. Because like you say, Bob, nobody goes out to vote, but the incumbents always get their voters out. Do you agree with that? The incumbents, they go out and vote for their person, Like Rita, she's guaranteed to get so many votes no matter what, because they're going out and voting for her.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I do to an extent nowadays, why I say it's changing. When you make we're going to see everything come out anyways because of the Facebook and all the internet stuff. And in Lowell, you don't have many opportunities other than this show or CAP, but who goes on CAP?
Right.
Who listens to it?
Nobody. No.
Right. So.
No, I think they get their fair share of listeners.
I think the best way is Facebook right now. I think it really is. I mean, if you hit the right issues and people can see you, especially when they can see you,
I still say hit every political party that's out there. Don't
Yeah.
forget to put your button on. You think people, they know who I am. They don't know who you are. Put your button on.
Yeah. I usually
Says
go to
Tom Bomil for president. That's what it says.
I usually go to Rita's party. I haven't been to too many though. I hand pick them because I'm totally against what you say. I say stay away from the bars and stay away from the parties because they're all voting for. They'll look at you. They'll look you in the.
Everybody goes to those parties.
I'll go
It's
get
the
that,
same.
John. I'll go get
I'll
that.
go get it. Thanks, Karen. Be right there. Thanks.
When you go to those parties, people look you right in the eye, right, and say, "Oh, you got my vote, buddy. Sure you do."
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
I go, sure I do.
And if you're a council candidate, you go to Rita's party, you're not going to get. They're voting for Rita. They're not, most people have people bullet. A lot of people vote for one person or maybe 2 people.
Yeah,
And when was the last time
she's
you
tough.
voted?
Listen, she's tough, but I'm just saying, Tom, be honest. I'm trying to be as honest as I can be. I'm telling Rita Mercy to work.
Oh, I
Work.
agree with you. I told
Don't
you that
think
a
you
month
got
ago.
it because you've been here that many
Absolutely.
years. Because
And the
people
sad
got a
thing
lot of
is,
different things in their minds now. This is a.
I hope she doesn't go out losing because that's tough. I mean, you should go out a winner.
I don't think
meaning
that's going to
don't run again.
happen.
Wow.
I'll say
You've got
this.
some strong candidates,
John,
Bob. You said it
well,
yourself.
John says Rita wants to be mayor. Yeah, that should have been last time.
Yeah.
Before Danny.
No, it's going to
But
be.
not now.
No.
Not now. It's
You
not
got
going to
too many
happen.
in there that want to be the mayor.
I don't know if you have too many, but I don't think
Well, you don't
anybody.
think Vesna?
Listen, against Danny right now,
No. If Danny wants it.
Yeah, he's
I think
gonna
he
get
says
it.
again. But if he doesn't want it, you'll have Vesna, probably Paul Rethiem.
no, these guys,
No?
no, they don't have a prayer.
Okay.
Hi.
The reason why for not killing your children, right? Art is not killing, not killing TikTok.
I already knew I was going to ask him some questions about his family again. Herky Santos.
best.
Oh, he was the best there, for sure. But no, Tom, you know how it is. The political world it's a different world.
Yep.
Nobody knows more about the political world than our next guest coming on in a few minutes, Karen Cassella.
Yeah.
I was so happy that she won, and now I'm going to move on to two candidates, Eric Gitcher. Well, actually three. Eric Gitcher, Danny Finn, and a guy named Bob Hoey. That's who I'll be working for this time. So,
We're only concerned about Bob Hoey.
oh, I'm,
Nobody else.
listen, I don't even concern myself. I really don't. I'm going to do.
Well, don't say that too loud.
I'm
because
going
people
to
are gonna
do.
say, what, he's running just to
Oh,
run? You know,
well,
it's-
I'm hoping to meet that person.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to meet as many people as I can from now until the election.
Bobby, you'll be on the bridge with your sign.
Sign.
And everybody else's side.
No. On the bridge, I'll have all three signs together, without a doubt, on Hunts Falls Bridge. But once I move over to, let's say, the Rourke Bridge.
I remember seeing you over there walking
Oh,
around. Yeah.
I've done the Rourke Bridge a
Yeah,
few
I know. I've
times.
seen you a lot over there. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's when you're citywide, at large. I don't want to go hold a sign for Danny Finn over near the Rock Bridge. I want to do it over near, Brian Martin softball field, or the Martin softball field in Belvedere.
No, a lot
Around-
of your friends, Danny Finn's friends.
Danny Finn is family, basically,
Yeah,
to
no,
me.
what I'm saying
That's
is
how
when
I
I said to you
feel.
earlier about consider running in the district,
Oh.
you could probably, like we said about Del Rossi,
Yeah,
not taking advantage, but because of Corey Robinson, you could win that district seat, I think, with the help of a guy like Finn. That's what I think.
no, well, listen, when you said, for how many years have I been on this show calling that the swamp?
Yeah.
Using that word?
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody now. I have to go at large, just to
Yeah.
have a shot. There's only three of us running for that one seat.
We're gonna go to break, kids.
Okay,
Yep.
shut that mic off.
We'll be right back, thanks.
Karen, don't listen to him.
Good morning. Welcome to the City Life Show. I'm Bob Hoey, the host today. Sitting next to me is Karen Cassella, Registrar of Deeds. And next to Karen, we got Tom Bomil, the host every other week. And behind the camera, John McDonough, someone that gives a lot of his time.
Candidate for the District 4 seat in Seoul City Council.
No, I'm hoping to get somebody else to run.
No, but since you started that off, Tom, once you said that, I'm thinking of Hillary Clark. I did run into her. I basically begged her to put her name in for District 4 City
told me that,
Council.
yeah.
And boy, what a loss that was for Lowell when she lost. It was a tremendous loss. One of the worst losses I've seen in ages was Hillary Clark. But she's finishing up some education. And I said, how about your daughter? Is she old enough yet? Just like Eric's son, Zach. Come on out. Those type of people, if they're old enough. That's what we need, to see people like that come out, these younger kids. I hope we see more. And again, I got to throw a plug for McFadden, Danielle McFadden. I'd always use the last name first because when I hear the name McFadden, that made me say, oh boy, I got to run. I don't care if I had a nickel, I'm running. And just because of her coming out and the name McFadden, be careful what you wish for, because I think we finally have some change coming in the school side.
Now, Arthur Santos couldn't come because he doesn't feel tip-top.
I'll give him credit in a minute, John. I just wanted to start off with a little bit of what we were talking about, mostly, Cameron, before you got here, was elections and this and that. And I always got to end it with this. I never, ever worked in anybody's campaign, and I've worked in a few. Marty Meehan's and Eddie Alashes and Timmy Rooks and all kinds of different people that I tried to help get elected. And you were the most, I don't know how to put it, you were the most fascinating candidate I ever seen. And that's back in 2018, the first time I jumped on your, I want to call you ship, and I try to help you get elected. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing, you running against Dick Howe Jr. the first time. I almost knew, I said, I don't think the girl can do it. I really don't. I didn't think so. But then you came back.
But she had the guts to do it. She had the guts to do it.
Everybody,
Yeah.
even the mayor of Boston, people like that.
Oh,
they
God.
didn't want the one. I'm saying, what's going on here, you know? But guys like Eric get you again. I say his name a lot. John McDonough, sitting on this show, said it a lot, was your experience.
Right.
And what you went through.
That's
How
all
many
that
years?
matters.
32
First time somebody
years.
elected.
32
Yeah.
years, yeah.
God bless you, anybody. I couldn't do 32 years in the prison. I couldn't. I only made 20, and I barely made it. I had to go through the academy twice because I was one of the, I would say, crazy prison guards. You know, I only did 20 because I would have got fired if I tried to do 32. It's just the job is so tough. It's
Right. Oh, I couldn't
bananas.
imagine.
And it's just like every morning I'm waving at everyone, Jay. Yeah, the sign holding, I think it's what worked for me, Tom, since someone brought that up twice now, Cameron,
Yeah?
is I'd try to get there at 5 a.m. And people say, 5 a.m.?
With a flashlight?
Yeah, why would you ever get there at 5?
Oh, the
When then you
traffic's
see them
unbelievable.
buzzing by, they're all
Yeah.
heading to Boston, and they're
Yeah.
all heading to Raytheon. I always said those people vote, because that's the hardest thing, trying to figure out out of 75,000 registered voters approximately, trying to find them. Which
Right.
ones, the 8,000 of them that vote.
Well, Bobby, before
Well-
we get that far down the road,
Yeah.
okay, you've been on, your mouth's been stuck on
Yeah,
play for
okay.
about 5 minutes now.
Yeah.
I want to ask Karen. Karen, you were running against money. You were running against the Democratic Party. And these are my words, not yours. And you blew them all out of the water. So how do you run successfully for office in 2025, in your view?
You definitely have to be out meeting the people. So, and not just going to political parties, not just going to political events. It's your everyday average person that wants to know the story, who you are,
So
what
where do
you're
you meet them?
about.
Where do you meet them?
Well,
Walmart?
fortunately, me waitressing, I met so many people. So you could, Bob, get a job at Alfresca. But
Good times, Bobby. You're gonna be waiting tables.
Right, wouldn't
Look
it?
at what that pink tie.
You asked her a question, I'm listening to her answer.
Honestly, it's meeting
So-
people, and it's not just like, I found when I would go to different political parties, the same political people talk to the same groups, and if they didn't like you, they weren't letting you in anyway. So,
Oh, really? You
Oh,
got
yeah.
pushed back?
oh yeah.
I'll take
So-
it.
You're kidding me.
I'm the
I
host.
felt more comfortable talking to the strangers, the people who didn't know they're your voters, they're your workers, they go to work every day, but they don't know anything about, no one knew the Register of Deeds, what that job really did. So it really worked out. I would explain to them what I did, how long I was there, that I did this before in 18, reasons why I did it the first time, things like that, and, I would ask them, could you please, talk to your friend, post things on social media, and
That's why-
absolutely. And I met a lot of
So-
people.
Work locally in a people business
Yeah.
is a key. Going to political parties, no help, is helpful. Your thoughts?
I think it's helpful, but I don't know how helpful it really is. I think a lot of I found even someone say from Tewksbury, they don't even know much about the Register of Deeds. They know Dick Howe, but when they knew I was running, oh, well, Sakari already called me. That's why you're going to support him, because he called you first? That's what I didn't get. I'm like, but he doesn't know the job. This is not a state rep job.
Well, I would appreciate their honesty.
John, like you, for instance, we joke about it, but when you say you're going to run for District 4, what you've done for the city over your years, that's a big plus. Let me just finish, because this is, to me, the most important. You asked her that question. I look at her family like her husband, for instance. I'll give you a quick example. Before I even knew Karen, before 2018, I met him up at the Cawley Stadium, parked in a cruiser there. He's working, and I pulled up next to him, and he basically became a psychiatrist for me to listen to my problems about family and stuff. And he helped me. That's how people get people to support you. Baseball coaching, football coach, get involved with families. Then you got a small base. Hey, what do you think? I remember saying this to Mike Gallagher, pretty political type of guy. Hey, Mike, you think you got a shot at winning this school committee race when you leave? I'd like to run for that. He goes, well, if the kids could vote, you'd win in a landslide, so why don't you throw your name in there? That's as simple as that. And then, like I said, put your name on the ballot. She does all those things out there with people, but family, definitely.
Oh, right,
Definitely.
absolutely. I do have a big family.
I used my last
of
name,
friends.
my dad's first name, just Bob Hoey. Everybody thought it was my father, probably, or my Uncle Red, or my Uncle Billy. Family has a lot to do with you getting elected, a lot to do. Friends, too, without a doubt. You had some great friends, and then people just got involved. Look at the things like, we talk about Eric Gitch all the time here, but remember him coming up with some stuff for you, and he's throwing it on Facebook? That's another way to help get elected, so I think we're going to see more in Belvedere. I know Karen's going to have a hard time, John. I think she's better off probably just going, mum is the word, because, well, she's friendly probably with everybody that's running.
Well, she should
Right.
support who supported her.
Well, if that's-
Talk about her and anybody that's running for office. There's some people that didn't help her at all last year, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I won't forget. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know
don't forget,
who,
right?
you know who was holding signs for who, you know who was supporting.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Like
And
Ned,
then-
our friend Ned would say, Irish Alzheimer's, you don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
No,
But
and that's something I always told my kids, always be respectful. You take that information that you heard or someone said, store it. It'll come back eventually to bite them. And
the one I like is the ones you know they didn't vote for you, and they worked against you. I like those people, because when they see you, oh, hi, congratulations,
Right?
John,
I knew
what
all
is-
the fakers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I knew all of them.
The phone calls that were coming in, I was like, Jesus, I was trying to call you several times during the campaign. I couldn't even
Oh,
get in touch with
I
you.
remember Phil Shea telling me that story so many times.
So
You didn't hear from
crazy.
them, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
they're calling you, like they're his best friend,
Yeah.
John, if you do decide, let's just say you run, what's going to be your plan of attack?
Tommy, I got a text, I can't put it
Oh.
up because it didn't process right, but it says, is Bomil going to the Vatican for Pope Francis' funeral? And he says Trump is going, but that's from Jay.
I'm actually going with Trump.
That's what I was, yes, he's gonna,
Air Force One is going to be meeting me at Logan.
beautiful,
Right?
beautiful.
So, do you hear my question, John?
What's your question?
Let's just say you run. Let's just say you can't find that candidate.
Yeah,
What's going to be your plan of attack? When you said about what are you going to do? Knock on doors, dear friend cards, parties. What do you-
nothing. I'm gonna go to political parties and keep doing this show. I mean, Tommy,
you're not gonna campaign?
there's not many people who can, right now, we're talking to 1,000 people.
Okay.
You know how many people are 1,000 people? But that's how many people are sitting here watching the show. And there's 1,000 people, yeah, I'll give him a vote because, yeah, he's on, I know him. And
All
I
right.
don't know the other guy. So it's, if I run around, like Bobby likes to hold us on the bridge, God bless him. Not my cup of tea. I'm older than dirt. I would really rather have your grandkid run for the job.
You keep saying that, but what
That's-
if the
I want your
grandkid doesn't come
grandkid
out?
to run for the job, and if I have to, I will, but I don't want to. Because right now, I think this district is underrepresented. Wayne Janess is a nice man, but I just don't think he's a good representative for this particular district.
And I keep hearing that time and time again. I don't know him. I met him, I think, once. I didn't find him to be
And
very
I'm
social.
told he's not gonna pull papers.
Huh? Say that again?
That's what I'm told, he's not gonna pull
But I'm saying,
papers.
I met him once. I didn't find him to be a social
have
guy,
no
but
idea.
I've heard nothing. He was a nice guy, but like I say, I hear he's done nothing for the downtown area. And, so.
I just say never. People have come out. Look at what this girl has done for the schools. Just think of what she did, that one person coming out and saying, I'm running citywide for the schools.
Oh,
You know?
you're talking
Right,
about
right.
Danielle.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Now, she got me back out, even though I'm 70 and I'm too old to do the job, but at least I'm going to be able to give my opinions. It's like a bully pulpit. You sit in front of people during the debates and tell them what you're going to fix, what you're going to go after. Mine's going to be very simple. I started off loving teachers, okay? I started off 1995, I believe the year was, loving teachers. I'm going to make sure no contract sits on a table. Now I'm going to come back and try to defend teachers even more than ever. It's not the teacher's fault. It's just not.
Right.
It's three other different sections of it that's at fault. Number one is parents. They're at fault,
Right.
without a doubt. So many people don't know how to be a parent. I didn't know how. I was a terrible husband. I really was. I just worked 2 jobs and I was never home. Sometimes 2.5 jobs to make sure I paid the bills. Never home. Very seldom had time for my own kids, but I'd coach baseball and other people's kids and never said anything negative to kids, but my own. I said things, how come you didn't get all the way down for the ball that went through your legs? I always said negative things to my own kids. I really did.
I just think, though, most people do, Bob.
But my point is, now that I'm 70 and John dumps on that age group, yeah, I got no children in the school system. I got a couple of grandkids and several nieces and nephews in the school system. It's the same thing. So when someone comes up and says, oh, I have kids in the system, congratulations, I'm glad you like the system. I also have grandchildren in the system and nieces and nephews and friends that have kids in the system. And there's nothing
No,
on the
Bobby,
planet
but
like a
Mr.
good
School
teacher.
Committee member.
Go ahead, buddy.
Mr. School Committee member.
Go ahead.
I want the kids in every district, I don't care whether you're Lowell, Kingsborough, Tewksbury, Chelmsford, Drake, I don't care where you are. You need to tell your school committee, teach our children personal finance and wealth. Teach those, make sure, we want to make sure they know what Paul Revere's horse's name was. Okay, that's important to some people. But money is right up there with oxygen, okay?
Yeah.
Teach our kids, whatever school district you're running, I don't care what Desi says down in Boston, wonderful.
Yeah.
We need to teach our children personal finance and how to become wealthy. Because you know what? Arthur DeMoss is having a fantastic day. He worked for it. He got wicked lucky, and I don't know Arthur Santos, no, sorry, Arthur DeMoss to talk to the guy, but I'm pretty sure he got lucky. And all these rich guys in our community got lucky. It's a learnable skill. And I just think the school department is making a big mistake, and I don't care what town you're in, not teaching our children personal finance and wealth.
You know, John, I only have 5 grandchildren. I wasn't good at teaching my kids how to save. I was taught how to smoke cigarettes and gamble. That's what I was taught. That's what my family taught me, how to gamble.
That's the stock market gambling.
No, I'm just telling you what my family taught
Stock
me.
market is gambling, yeah.
But they also taught me how to roof, how to side, how to plaster, how to do this and that and this and that, so I could make enough money to keep up with my gambling habit and pay my bills.
Well, Bobby,
And then,
we're both blessed with the
but
gift of
John,
gab.
wait a minute, I'm going to give you credit in a second. Then I married the right woman. Oh, boy, thank God. But you taught me plenty about finance, and what I do now is tell my grandchildren what to do. I got a 25-year-old that just come back from Italy and from London and from, where else did she go? Ireland. She's only 25, owns going out, getting qualified for a $600,000 home. Only went to the Latin Lyceum, and then ULO, one of my favorite places, ULO. When I bring that up, Marty Meany wants to talk about now, I bet. But look at what you can do in the city of Lowell. That's just number one.
Right.
Number two's like me, we're going to have a little bit of a struggle, but he's still in school. And then I got a 14-year-old that's going into Shoba Tech next. We couldn't get around Lowell because it's hard to get into the Greater Lowell Technical High School. We need more trade schools, come on. Everybody knows that.
John, Bob,
Absolutely.
John's been hammering at this
No, finance,
issue
no
for
doubt,
a long
he's right.
Okay, but it seems he has at least one school committee person on this show every week, and there's others that come on. Do they listen to him? Have they done anything? Now, if you're elected, will that be one of the first things you try to get?
Not really, because
No?
I think my thing is going to focus on parents. Come on, start doing your job.
So you're not
Teach your
talk
kid.
about
Well, I'm
accountability
going
for
to
the
talk about
kids?
it. I'm going to talk about it because I know the high school has John Dock Bank there. They have a place to teach kids how
Right,
to save a buck.
you know.
But saving a buck isn't the only way you're going to become rich.
But speaking of Tommy's point, and I want to find out what Karen
Yeah.
thinks. Speaking of Tommy's point, I love to ask off camera the people that make time to come here, especially school committee people, how'd you get rich? And they go, I'm not rich. Why aren't you rich? Because I don't know how to become rich. It's a learnable skill. So Karen, what do you think about teaching personal finance?
I absolutely think it's a great thing for the children, especially actually like more of the junior seniors in high school. They're the ones going off to college. They all want these great colleges to go to.
They got their $1,000 phone.
Yep, and they don't get it. Their parents can't afford 70, like my daughter, my daughter Olivia went to Merrimack, $62,000 a year. Who can afford that? So she takes out student loans? That's crazy.
Who would lend a kid $62,000? The federal government.
Exactly.
They're
That's
going to start
wrong.
paying
So
it
that's
back.
what I'm saying. It's just, but they didn't get it at that point. They just saw, ooh, Merrimack College, I'm going, or BC, BU. If you taught them a little bit earlier about money, they would know they have to work harder, maybe get better grades, better education, and focus a little bit more. So I do think it's something that they should implement into the school system.
Yeah. I have about 4 or 5 issues, Tom, but before I even go to the finance thing, number one would be to stop any third grader from going into the fourth and they can't read.
I
They have to
agree with
read.
that.
They have to read at some level in the third grade. And what happens is we just put them on a conveyor belt, right? So the child that's in the third grade that can read at, let's say, a 4th or 5th grade level, that advanced, they got to stay with those same group of kids that can't read right through their whole education system, right through it. So all you see when you're on a bus, and I've been on a bus with kids not too long ago going to Foxborough, you would not believe how out of control the kids are. You wouldn't believe it.
Right.
They need seatbelts not only for safety, was just to keep the kids in the seat from bashing each other off the cushions. I mean, they weren't violent, but if you said, and the teacher didn't want to see it, they live with it every single day. Discipline. And then if you say something to the parent, oh, you're doing it, teacher. You're doing it. Nobody's going to point at a teacher this time. Nobody. I'm going to do, that'll be the first thing, Tom. You want to know what we're talking about personal finance.
Yeah.
The first thing I'll do is sit on some type of negotiations for contracts and say, listen, any teacher that has 32 years in, or 33 like Karen does, that's a good one. Come on, we know who the good and the bad are. There's only a few bad ones. I want them making $50 an hour to come in and teach our kids how to read. 50, not 40. We struggled to get them to 40. And nothing against cops or anybody else, but I can watch a pothole and make $75 an hour.
It's a perk.
Or I can watch,
Well-deserved perk.
hold on,
Well-deserved
or I can
perk.
watch an inmate and make $250,000 a year. I had a lieutenant friend out there, that's what they make nowadays, with overtime.
This babysitting a pothole, it's a well-deserved perk. Goes with the job.
Yeah, and so
That's
isn't,
also
so
with
isn't
detail,
for a
and it's not
teacher.
paid by the city.
A teacher that has 32 years in should make $50 an hour. That's not asking a whole lot. And paras, forget it. In Lowell, I mean, we didn't get up to where they should be. And you want to see some really poor. Same thing I worked for her when I first worked for this one here, was I didn't like the way they were treated. I'm a union guy. That's what I am. And, you negotiate my sick time, but yet you make me go get a sick note. Why? It's a perk, right? So I'm sick. I don't feel good. I don't go to work. I got to get a doctor's note now.
Now, the audience wants to hear Mr. Bomil teaches wealth. What are your thoughts, Tom?
Say that again? What?
What are your thoughts on teaching wealth?
Absolutely. I didn't have it. I'll tell you how I learned how my finances, doing finances, and I think I do a good job at it now, was when I got divorced from my first wife. She did all the money, she did all the bill, and then she was gone. And I said, I have to pick, and I did. My wife Brenda will tell you now how I do a great job at it, and I have what they call, my wife laughs at it, an envelope system, where I put money in a certain envelope that pays for a certain bill. And I think it's great. But if nobody's listening to you, John, meaning on the school committee, to do this, it's not going to happen.
Well, they blame it on Desi, and I just say, tell Desi to take
Well,
a
can't
hike.
so the superintendent can't just say we're going to.
When the superintendent makes time to visit us, I tell him the same thing.
Yeah.
Tell Desi to take a hike.
Wow.
Yeah, and another way you could look at it is, I know what I taught my oldest granddaughter. She's 25 now. Learn math. Be a math freak. Know everything about math. STEM. And then I'd get corrected by Mrs. Donahue and say, Bob, say STEAM. Add an A, Bob, add an A. See, that's my point. You got people like her paying attention, doing tons of things for this city, okay? Nancy Donahue, the money she has spent for people in the city, it's incredible. And so I'm going to support teachers. And
Bob,
they only work 180 days a year, Mr. Hoey. That's all a teacher works. Come on. Please. I work the
Well, no,
boat.
I know it's a lot of
No,
work.
everybody says that. And they think it's just the 180 days, and they're not there sometimes an hour after the school
So
ends.
look, I'm gonna hog the show for a couple of minutes here. If you want an announcement on City Life, real easy thing to do, send me a text, and I'll be happy to put it out there. On Thursday night, 7 o'clock, they're gonna have a mass over at the Immaculate Conception Church in lovely Lowell, Massachusetts. They got a gigantic parking lot and plenty of parking at that church. And there's an elevator on the ground, on the parking lot level. It's gonna bring you right up to the church if you are not good with steps. But they're gonna have a mass 7 o'clock Thursday night at the Immaculate Conception Church. And be there or be square. Coming up in Tewksbury, Spring Fling Pasta Supper, April 26th. 3 to 6:30 p.m. Tewksbury Senior Center, 175 Chandler Street. Tickets are $10. Children 10 and under are free. 50-50 raffle. Tickets available at Tewksbury Senior Center Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Sponsored by the Friends of the Elderly. Moving right along. Neighborhood meetings. I'm told the Belvedere Neighborhood Association is not written down here. Cliff told me that yesterday. I don't know why they're not, but they should be in touch with the police department so they can, they can promote their meetings. But meeting coming up downtown, Lowell Downtown Neighborhood Association is going to have their meeting April 28th, 7 o'clock at LTC. Johnny Dakota's having a party. Campaign to re-elect John Dakota, Wednesday, April 30th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. at Mount Pleasant Golf Club, 141 Staple Street. Hope to see you over there. Today is the 22nd. So the City of Lowell Senior Center is proud to serve lunch 7 days a week, except for holidays. 7 days a week, Saturday, Sunday, we don't care. Just show up at 10:30, come in the front door, get yourself a ticket. Usually a gal by the name of Tara's at the door, very nice gal, and you give her your $2. If you don't have the $2, they give you the ticket for free. And today we have Salisbury steak, but tomorrow stuffed cabbage. Ooh, that's yummy stuff. So hope to see you over at the Senior Center. Get in around 10:30. Lunch comes out at 11, and you're going home by 11:30. Okay, if you need prayers for somebody's sick, they need your help, call the Monastery of St. Clair, 445 River Road in Andover. That's their phone number. Just tell them who to pray for. They have an answer machine. If they don't answer the phone, answer machine. And just tell them, whoever you want them to pray for, they'll be happy to say some prayers for that person. Campaign kickoff party for Belinda, and she's going to have a party Thursday, May 1st, 5:30 p.m., Long Meadow Golf Club. You're invited, 165 Haviland Street, and join us for the kickoff for Belinda Duran's campaign for City Council, represent Belvedere District 3. She's got her email address and so forth there. So donations start at $25 and go up. She's got this QR code that'll bring you to a website, tell you a little bit more information. Moving right along, if you got a dishwasher, a lawnmower, a snowblower, a big gigantic TV monitor, and you want to get rid of it, now's your chance. Saturday, May 3rd, put it in your car and bring it out to Chelmsford. And walk over the TV set, take a picture of this. You know, they're not taking oil, fuel, glass, or plastic toys, but they will take appliances, microwave ovens, whatever you want to get. Take a picture of this. It's unbelievable what they'll take. Bicycles, radios, alarm, whatever electronics you want to get rid of. This is a pretty cool thing. It's $60 for your car, $5 per item, $5 to $25 per item. But if you have a lot of this stuff, you can, a friend with a van like Bobby Hoey, you can put your dishwasher in there, your microwave oven, and your computer
In
monitor,
the refrigerator.
and pay them $85, and it's all gone. Even if, fill up your fridge with stuff. So this is really a great thing. So if you want to get rid of your snow, what do you do with an old snowblower? You leave it on First Street. That's what you do. No, I'm just kidding. So
You leave it on Village Street over by the Colley
Yeah, it's-
Stadium in the woods.
Yep. So it's a good opportunity to get rid of something legally. They have a QR code here. If you take your smartphone out of your pocket, put it in camera mode. 01 on this guy right here. It'll tell you some more information about this. But this is a good program they're putting out in Chelmsford coming up on May 3rd. This poor kiddo, rest in peace, going to have a second annual Adrian Kimborowitz Memorial Fundraiser Saturday, May 3rd, 6 to 11 p.m. Sorry, 6 to 11 p.m. at the Bunting Club, 449 Boylston Street, and a good thing to consider. So hope to see you over there on May 3rd. Moving right along, this is a pretty cool thing between Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church and St. Patrick's Church. Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church, that's one with the gold dome, and it looks like they're replacing that gold dome. And right across the street is St. Patrick's Church, gigantic, the first Catholic church in Lowell. And there's a canal in between these two buildings, these two churches. And they have these bags with candles in them. It's a beautiful thing, and it's going to happen Saturday, May 3rd, 5 to 10 p.m. And a lot of eye candy if you plan to go to this. Campaign kickoff party for Aaron Gendron, campaign kickoff party and fundraiser at Long Meadow Golf Club, 165 Havel Street up in Belvedere, Monday, May 5th, 6 to 8 p.m. with Aaron Gendron, Lowell City Council. And let's see what else. That's my last announcement. So back over to you, Bobby. Thank you.
Well, tomorrow they have stuffed cabbage there
Yeah.
at the senior center. That's one
Yeah.
of my favorite meals. But,
The only rule is
Go
you gotta be
Monkey.
60 years. You can live in Timbuktu. You just gotta be 60. I don't care where you live.
John, I've been there twice. I tried to bring my wife. My wife says, listen, I'm not going to the senior center to eat, really. It's just, but, Karen, so you have a new addition in your family.
I do, yes.
Tell everybody how you're feeling right now,
Oh,
how you
I'm
feel.
feeling wonderful. My daughter Alicia had her first baby, Jack Busby Anderson. He's going to be 4 weeks this Thursday. It's incredible.
Does Jimmy give anybody else a chance to hold him?
Oh, he does.
Okay.
Yes, he
Okay.
does.
This is
No,
number,
I
what
know.
number this is,
This is
grandchild?
two, number two.
Yeah.
So, oh no, I'm with her any minute I can be. So, we've been spending a lot of time. She's a great mother. She'll be out of work until June, but she's good. Her husband just went back to work last week, so it's a little adjusting for her, being home by herself with the baby. But she's doing well.
Yeah, when you're on your own as a mom, first time around,
Right?
it's scary stuff.
It is.
The big adjustment's going
Bob,
to
you
be
wanna
when she
read
has to
this
go back to
one?
work in June.
Ms. Cassella and Mr. Santos also have great work ethic. That's another reason they're both successful. That's from Jay. Yeah, no doubt about it. Hard work always will get people somewhere. You just, but to me, it's about getting a career ladder. You know, like finally, your place to me was someone running it. I've said it many times, anti-union. No one ever listened to you. Why? Because there's only 10 or 12 of you.
Right.
You should hear how they listen to 5,000 prison guards and their family. We're in the governor's branch of government. We get what we want. We really did. We even got the state troopers their pension because there's so many correction officers. I like to call us prison guards because we don't correct anything. All we do is keep them secured or try to.
So I'm sure now with you and Arthur in charge down there, the morale's going up
Oh,
big time.
it's
I mean, like,
so
it's a pleasure.
different.
It's a pleasure to go to work. I'm sure
Right?
people, you know,
So I always say, I was just saying,
people don't mind going to work. You know,
Right.
yeah.
at the end of the day, people would have their coats on and they're all ready. It's like, okay, we still had like 5 minutes. You'd answer the phone, but we weren't doing any more of the e-recordings unless, if a customer came in, we'd take the document. But now the doors, they click at the end of the day when the day's done. People are still at their desks,
What do you mean they click?
socializing.
Automatically
There's like a
lock?
lock. Yeah, there's an automatic lock on the door so the customers can't come in.
Oh, okay.
And people are still, the employees are still hanging out. They're not rushing out the door. They all seem pretty happy. We did this, an Easter luncheon for them on Thursday.
Great.
So we had,
That's nice.
Artie had a ham. He got it from the Honey Bank Ham up in Nashua. I did spinach pie. We had
And you didn't
scalloped
bring me- you didn't
potatoes,
bring me any spinach
carrots.
pie.
I know, I
Oh,
should've
my
told you
God.
guys. We had so much food.
Love spinach. Do you make your own spinach pie?
Yes.
My
Yeah.
God.
Oh, I
Wow.
didn't know you, I had some
Marry
too,
me.
I just had, some I made for my family on Sunday as well.
And
So
is there any
next
Greek blood
time
in
I'm
you?
bringing
Any
spinach
Greek blood
pie
in
if
you?
John allows
Is
it.
there any Greek in you? Because that's usually a Greek dish that.
It is a Greek dish
Yeah,
and
but-
I'm
Kevin,
not
you can bring
Greek.
anything you want. I'm just telling you that Bobby,
I am Portuguese,
it's a health thing for me.
right?
Health thing.
My
I
health's
gotta
good.
stay away from
My health's
sugar.
good.
I know,
I hear Portuguese
I'm Portuguese,
Yeah.
yes.
from the Azore
Yeah,
Portuguese.
yeah, my grandmother was
Which
Da
island?
Cunha. Da Cunha?
Which,
They gr-
which island?
I'm not sure which island.
Okay.
So they grew up in back Central Street. I used to go to St. Anthony's every Sunday morning with them, sleep over their house on Saturday night, St. Anthony's Sunday morning, then breakfast, and the cemetery, and then back home.
Amazing.
That was the trip.
That's great what you say about the worth
Those are the
people.
good old days.
Right? I know.
Those little things are always great. you know,
Right.
As far as, like we used to have at town hall when I was working, I'd bring in donuts just for just a fun thing for the staff. Just there was only
Well,
five.
that's I say it's the little things you do
Yeah.
for your employees.
Yep.
And, I'm always open. I always say if whatever I, changed, if you think it's not working, it can be done better, let's talk about it. I'm not shutting it down. It's my way or no way. Let's, figure it out. So it's been good.
I look at it the same way. If I like my boss, and like where I worked, anywhere where I worked, if I like my boss, he's going to get the best job I can possibly do for him.
Exactly.
But if I don't like the boss, he's going to get like what 60% of the staff gives him, about 60%.
Right.
That's all. They're not going to
Well,
overdo it.
Right, and I can tell you, that's the thing. I mean, all of the employees, they've been there so long. I always say, you've been here, you know the job, just do the job. And if there's any problems, let me know. And
No
of course,
micromanaging. No
Right,
micromanaging. Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
not. And we do have a few, documents that might come in with a little mistake here or there, and I do my best to get in touch with the person who recorded it. So, but everything's running very smooth. And we're hoping, Artie's been doing a lot with the e-recording, so we're trying to, once he's finished with that, we're just waiting on a few things because we've made some changes. They're trying to do some stuff with AI as far as the indexing and the indexes that are on the internet to help people when they're searching stuff. So we're working on that. And, we do have things in the works. It's just, how it is. It takes time. So.
No, you people, it's a misconception because you people work in the courthouse, but you really have nothing to do with the courthouse.
Right,
You
exactly.
work for the state.
We're Secretary of State, their trial court, yes.
So I'll use the example, I remember town hall, there'd be a lot of times there'd be early closures or a snow closure or.
Yeah.
Now, do you fall under the state or you fall under the, because I know when
No,
Brenda
the
worked there,
state.
they would say don't come until 11 or something. But if the state said you close for the day, you close for the day, right?
Right, yep,
Okay,
if they close
that's
all
what I
the
thought.
courts, we're closed.
No, I'm just saying, no, let's just say the court's open.
Yeah.
But the state says,
Oh, no, we are going in.
oh, okay, you're going in, no matter what.
I would
Okay.
have been happy if she stayed right over here on Gorham Street.
Gorham
I would have
Street.
been happier because we're in a need for a police department. We need a lockup and everything, and there it is. It's right there.
My-
But that was even political. The lawyers. It's all lawyers. They wanted the registry of deeds over there, and that's what they got.
You're
Right,
probably
right.
That's
the
how I
first
feel.
non-lawyer, right? In my lifetime,
Um,
you're probably the first non-lawyer. It was
I don't
Finnegan,
know.
then there was
Ed
Eddie
Early
Early.
was an attorney.
Eddie Early, and then it was Howe. Howe was an attorney, so.
I mean,
I never hear it. One-
Moriarty was the registrar at one point.
Right.
Dean Moriarty.
Eddie Early, I don't think I know anybody that was loved more than that guy.
Oh, he was
Regular
Really,
guy.
he was
Yeah,
really
he was
loved.
so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
He always would come through. He wasn't there every day. Jerry Keon was the assistant.
Yes, you don't have to be there every day, but you are, right?
I am.
No, but there's-
It's so
there's some-
funny.
Yeah.
The day goes by so quick. The emails coming in, everyone needs help doing this and that, and I just don't know. I'm like, where did the time go? It does go by quick, so,
Hey, is anybody's microphone blinking over there? I'm
Nope,
getting static.
mine isn't.
Just turn your microphone on and off, will you? So Karen, to your knowledge, do you rent the space over there? They just
they rent the
give-
space as far as I know.
Okay, so could you move if you wanted to move? See, because the parking situation over there stinks.
That it does.
I know you have a nice
got a great spot
premium
now.
inside parking spot. It's just lovely.
Right.
But
Yeah, so parking's about $130 a month to park in the garage.
The
yeah,
city garage?
No, it's Sal Poli's garage,
Oh,
right
that's
next door to the,
130? So
yeah.
is that a cheaper rate than the
Tommy,
city?
you got to
That's
move
what
into
I
the
mean.
mic, please.
Is that cheaper
Can
than
you
the?
hear mine?
I can hear you good.
All right.
Is that cheaper than the city? What the city
No,
rate is?
they're all the same, because the
Okay.
same companies are all running them.
All right.
It's just who's getting the money. But I do feel that Hamilton garage that they did build, right?
Right,
Everyone was using it until Sal built this new garage.
it's closer.
But if the city was smart, they would offer all employees at that courthouse a discount to park there. If they had a discount, if you could save $50
Karen,
would,
the city is just too greedy. It's not going to happen.
but it's like you would have
Dreamland.
more people, you would generate more money,
The
because,
city is a little like the mafia. Oh, you lost your job? Oh, that's too bad. Pay us.
When
You're
Brenda
going to pay to
worked
park in
on,
front of your house. I don't have a good taste in my mouth for the city, so I'm going to hog a little bit of airtime right now. These are my words, not anybody else's. This is Mayor Michelle Wu in Boston. She makes 250 grand a year. Our city manager makes 300 grand a year. What the hell's the matter with our city council? Page 2. The governor of Massachusetts. She makes $222,000 a year. Our city manager makes 300 grand a year. City council, what the hell's the matter with you?
That governor's got what, 5-6 million in the bank?
And it's a base salary, the governor, I never knew this, base salary 185, and they give her a housing stipend for 65 grand. But Golden's making 300 grand a year. And I just gotta ask the city councilors, what the hell's the matter with you? This doesn't seem right to me. And they're gonna give this guy a contract, he doesn't need a contract. Who wants him? Is Boston trying to get him to work down there? I know they're not. Is Lawrence trying to get him? No. Peabody trying to get him? No. He's on the top of the world. Guy doesn't need a contract, but he wants an extension on his contract, and it's going to get voted in tonight. Oh, we can't stop that. You certainly can. And election season's coming up. So I'm not going to forget this. I know the newspaper's not going to forget this. And I don't think that Gary Francis is going to forget it either. I'm done. Thanks.
when my wife worked on Hurd Street, before she got a spot in the lot. Before that, she parked in the, what's it called, the lower locks? I forget what they call that parking lot near the university, the hotel. And she got a discount
yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
and then that discount went away. They had it for a while, that went away, they stopped it. And you rent your space from the state? It's a state building, you have to rent where you're working?
Well, we did here, I know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or, but our office is tiny. We have no windows, we can't open windows.
Oh, well, Brenda was in her, it's weird
Yeah,
the way they...
it's so
yeah,
small.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta stop you guys for a second. Tommy, shut your mic off. Yours is the problem. Hey, take mine. I'm getting static out of yours, so I'm gonna swap you. Take this puppy.
You want that one?
Yeah, give me that. Give me that one, thanks. Back to the show. Thanks, guys.
We're having some technical difficulties here.
I'm doing great. How you doing?
So, yeah.
Going back to those kids in the school department,
Yeah,
I do think, though, the kids need accountability.
oh, yeah.
And I just think we don't, it always becomes, it's not just that one, the problem. We are always dealing with the group because we don't want to single anyone out. How do you fix that one that's been causing the problem then? So I just think
Yeah, we had a
we
few
need some
issues.
solutions on that. I know
Well,
it's not easy, right, for a teacher or,
I think the easiest way to get there would be pre-K to in kindergarten and first grade, which we have a really good system when you look at all the different issues that we have, from having 70 different languages to whatever you want to add into that.
Right.
Elementary, we're in good shape. But we need to focus on making sure they can all read by the third grade. So you can bring tutors back, like I said, bring them back in. I know Liam Skinner, if anybody knows how to do it, he's the guy.
right.
He knows it's early education, but it means a lot about parents getting involved too, to try to teach their kids how to read at home.
Right.
That to me, because those kids that can read in the third grade, like I said, I'm dealing with it right now, and I can see this. It's a little issue, but it's a discipline issue.
Right.
When you can't read, you do what I did: act up. It's that simple. That's all I did. When it was my turn to get up and read in front of Cameron and the girls, there was no way I was going to do that. I was going to get the ruler. I knew it beforehand. I was not going to get up and try to read.
Yeah, right.
And it's the big issue, and I think of the high school all the time because we got 3,200 kids at capacity, and 1,000 of them are just like me. They hated school, they want to drop out, but they got nowhere to go. I had the Army take you in, bingo. Why don't we do that anymore? They saved so many people. But now, that 1,000, that's who I'm really concerned about. I'm not concerned about the top 1,500 students.
Right.
They get everything at Lowell, a lot of money, great education, go on to Harvard, MIT, all kind. Colby College, someone just went to Colby College, I got accepted. That's a pretty good school, isn't it?
Yeah.
Up in Maine?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Jim Hall's kid, by the way. Jim Hall's,
Was a Kobe graduate?
no, he's going to Colby.
Oh.
I think he went to St. John's, I'm not sure, but, I'm a pro staff type of guy, watch and see. It's going to be fun.
Going back to John's discussion about different salaries and the governor and the mayor of Boston, and we just got a new town manager that started back in January, and the ex-town manager, the former town manager, I think was making $185 a year. They brought a new town manager in, and they paid her at the max, what was advertised at $220, Kate Hodges. So when Kate leaves in 2 or 3 years, because I'm sure she's going to advance her career, they don't stick around. Like whatever she's making, they're going to have to pay that person probably more than what they're paying for Kate Hodges, even though probably it shouldn't be, but that's the way it goes. Do you agree, Bob? Like you're superintendent.
Hey, kids, I just got to back up for a second. I got a call from the audience. They had the wrong figure on Golden. I was taking my figure from one of my media friends. I apologize. This contract that they're voting on is for $235,000 a year. That's what we're going to pay this guy. And I just think it's too much dough. Back over you guys.
Just stay
Thank
there,
you for
John.
the
Can you
correction.
stay there, John?
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought he was already making $250. No? Maybe.
I see.
Yeah.
I always ask, what's the total liability?
Yeah.
What's the total liability in the guy? And I bet you no city council will ask that question. What's the total liability for the manager?
So you're going there for so if Tom Golden leaves in 2027, let's just say I'm done, I'm retiring, they're going to have to pay that new person a lot more than $235,000. Nobody's going to come here. Nobody's going to. Just like we just said, Bob. Would you say the super mix? Does he make $230?
Yeah,
No.
I would say 235 grand. You'll get somebody. For
Okay.
that
I
money.
bet you get somebody for 200 grand.
You couldn't get Kate Hodges to come here for 185. She got the 220. That's what I'm saying.
Should take it for
She's a
two.
good negotiator.
Yeah. Well,
That all goes back to when Kevin Murphy was city manager. That's where that all changed, because they couldn't believe Dr. Kafawi was making more than the city manager.
So again, thanks for the call. Appreciate the update. I did my homework, and I should have done my homework sooner rather than later. I'd like to know what and Tom, you bring up a good point. If he's making 250 now,
I thought he was.
Understand this math.
yeah. I guess.
So
Yeah,
I guess total liability, because you get a free car, and you get free this, and you get free that, so.
I think the superintendent of schools and the city manager both get close to 250. That's what I say. I
With all
say
the
that
bennies-
number.
with all the bennies and everything.
Yeah, it's-
a car and
Yeah.
Uh,
Sometimes they want, like Joe Boyd wanted $5,000 to bring his furniture from Cambridge
He
to
told me
Lowell.
that, yeah.
He wanted $5 grand.
When I see Eric, I'll ask him, what's the total liability? He'll know.
I think he's on with us in a couple of weeks. I think.
Yeah.
But to me, I think the superintendents, that's the going rate. That's the going rate to try to get them. If you want the best, sometimes you're going to have to pay to have
You get
the
what you
best.
pay for.
You know, Robbie,
Yeah.
you know, I run a small business, okay, and I get a kick out of this stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Who wants them? Okay, Tommy, no contract. Good luck. When is he
Where?
gonna get a job for 200 grand a year?
I was talking to superintendent of schools. Like we
Superintendent is
got rid
Different
of,
ball of wax, I'm talking about the manager.
yeah, it is. I'm talking about superintendents. They get a job.
Superintendents,
They'll get a job.
yep, exactly,
Yeah.
they will.
City manager, you're right, because I don't believe a city manager knows any more than you do, or myself. It's just who you hire behind you, who's your staff. It's everything. Any business,
He
it's,
said 3 years of training.
I'm willing to bet Karen Cassella,
job, learn on the job.
Karen's sitting right here, and I'm not trying to put words in her mouth. I will say Karen's place is understaffed, like prisons were. They run the prisons understaffed. That's what happens.
Right.
Most of the time, that's the truth. You wouldn't believe it, but we're understaffed.
John, what do you think would be a good starting salary for a city manager?
I don't think they should have a contract.
No, I didn't ask you, what do you think would be a good starting salary? Golden leaves tomorrow, the average.
Okay, and the light folks rake it?
No.
150, 150.
All right, Lowell.
Roll 2. Just because it's the going rate of an attract a manager that has some experience from day one. Doesn't have to be learning for the first 3 years that he's here. And I'm not asking Karen to agree with you. Karen, you're stuck listening to all this stuff, so
No, but Karen's a fine example. Whoever, if Karen did not win, whoever would have won that race would be getting the same pay you're getting.
Yeah.
But yet you have 30 years' experience. You should be getting far more. That's my.
Well, Tommy, my
you know.
big gripe is this, when I called down to the State House, Secretary Galvin's office, and I never spoke with him, I spoke to the media person down there. And I asked, okay, what are the duties for the Register of Deeds? And the woman on the phone very kindly told me there are none. It's an elected position. The Register of Deeds can do whatever they want. So I expanded on the question. You mean they don't even have to show up for work? If they choose not to come in, it's up to them. They don't have to come in. There are no guidelines. There's nothing they have to do. They're an elected official. They can do as they please. I was stunned by that.
Right. Well, there are some registers that they have their law of practices, so they're still practicing law. They have,
A side gig.
right, so they're not in the office all the time.
But it's not required either, you said, right? To be in the office.
No.
Yeah, right.
No,
Well,
but
that's
I
what-
mean,
that's what
But you
they-
are. You are.
I
You
am,
are.
I'm
I know you are.
actually, so, yeah, like I said, there's only 2 girls in registered land, so if they're both out, I'm the only person that can take in a document over there, so I have to make sure I'm there all the time.
But knowing
Unless-
your worth ethic, you'd be there anyway. That's what my
Well,
point is.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm there, I spend more time now in this office than I did when I was just an employee, because I'm still doing other things.
Right, right.
On top of taking documents in, maybe, I actually go on sometimes and I'll do some e-files if we're behind, if there's a few people out, so I have that capability of
Right.
helping the staff make sure we do, take everything in we can and do the work and make sure everyone's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure the phones are ringing. So it's good. It's really been a
You got
nice
voice over.
transition.
I'm assuming you got voice over IP phones,
It's
internet phone,
yeah.
and when the
I'm not a
internet's
big
down,
fan.
baby, it's down.
So that happened the other day. We had no phone lines till about noontime. There was, our service in there, if someone calls my cell phone while I'm at work in the building, I do not get a message until I walk out that door, then I get the message.
Wow.
There's no service.
So the whole building was out phones, or just your office? The other
No,
building?
so
whole
we're the
building?
only ones. The other ones, I think they have Verizon. I don't know, but ours is the voice over internet or whatnot. But I'm not a big fan of it, to be quite honest.
Well, it is getting better. The only problem is you don't know when the phone's down.
Right.
Boy, the phone's not ringing. You pick up
I
and there's
know.
no dial tone.
Yes, we had a customer who came in because he called 3 times. He couldn't get in touch with us.
And recently, we just started to get a message that the internet's down. It comes up on the little TV. They all have the monitor on your phone. It comes up on the monitor. You don't have any internet connection.
Right.
And that's what should come up on your phones too, so you know when you're down.
Yeah, ours just shows this little X, a little red circle with
So
an
you
X.
do know when you're down?
Yes.
Okay.
But it would come back on, and then it would just shut right back down. It
Yep.
was like intermittent and,
So do people get a message or something that you're down, or just they call
no,
and keep
they
ringing
just
and ringing and
ring.
ringing?
Yeah, there's
Whoa,
nothing,
boy.
we can't do anything. I even called the company, because I wasn't sure, it was my first time that this has happened with me there, and he said it's not on our end, it's the internet.
Wow.
So unfortunately, yeah. The internet is not great at the Registry of Deeds. So,
And I would always think the toughest issue to deal with is when I brought up understaffing.
right,
Because when I worked in the state system and we were understaffed, it's a lot more pressure on certain people, like you have to come in and do someone else's job.
right.
Or they gotta hire overtime.
Right.
Do you
Well, so-
hire overtime?
No, we don't have it in the budget, but the girls would leave, that's it. If I'm there, of course I am, so I'll continue to answer the phone until I leave. Sometimes I'm there till 5:30, so.
Beaumont needs stronger coffee. He's yawned 4 times.
But, no, it's been great, and hopefully, we have to start training people. Registered land, we have 2 girls besides myself that work in that department, and that's a difficult department to learn and understand. We have a book, it's the guidelines, and it's a lot. So we're gonna start training a few employees, because there's no one that can cover that department. This July, the whole staff has the day off. There's like 3 of us coming in, and that was because they put in for it a year ago. So now that I'm the registrar, I said, I'm on vacation that week, so I'm gonna have to come home because we just don't have staff. But it isn't overly busy right now because rates are high and house prices are so high. No, there's not a lot. We're busy, but
People put in for their time a year ago?
a year ago.
Never heard of that one. I worked for the
Oh,
town.
it's-
There was a certain
you have
amount.
no idea what was
It was only,
going on.
and it basically broke down to, my office, was only 4 of us, but I mean, we always worked something out, but yeah, that's weird, a year ago.
A year.
You've changed that practice, I'm sure, haven't you? That you
Yes.
can't-
Yeah,
We had.
we had to. We
Yeah,
just don't have
yeah.
the staff for that.
Well, you got to deal with the union, don't you?
Yes. Well, this is a policy. It's not even in the union contract. It was a policy.
Oh, I understand.
You had a year to put in your time.
Yep.
So, and every Friday and Monday in the summer, we probably have about 2 people in, but we'll
I do.
figure that out.
But you can now be in the new boss, you can say,
Right, yeah,
no, no more,
we did
no
tweak
more.
it, and I
Yeah.
just,
20
the girls
years,
know.
20 years and I couldn't get a summer vacation.
Right.
Not in the prison system. You don't get no summer vacation till
Well,
you
now
get
when you're
about
at the bottom of it,
20.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all about
Yeah.
seniority.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what, I mean, that's what union's about, right? Seniority. So,
But when you're understaffed, how would you get to put another person on, let's say? Who would you have to go through? Someone at the state level, I would
to
imagine.
right, yes, it has to I have to make sure I have the money in the budget for that. So hopefully I can, and plus, we do have people retiring, so that was another good thing. that-
Hey, tomorrow, City
to
Light, we're
give
going to
me more
have
money.
Linda Bound's going to be here, Paul Rathayem's going to be here, and Rita Mercier is going to be here. That's tomorrow, City Light. Time is shot, Bob. You got to say goodbye over there.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks for
Thank
watching.
you, thank you, have a good day.
We'll see you tomorrow.